So I'm going to call the regular meeting.
Call the regular meeting of the Board of Selectmen to order. Pledge allegiance. Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Item number 3, to consider and act upon the minutes of October 19th, 2020. Do I have a motion to approve?
I'll move it. I'll second.
Oh, any discussion?
I'm all set.
Okay. Yeah.
Nope, all set.
Okay. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Motion carries. Item number 4, reappointments. All terms begin 11/23/20. To hear and consider and act upon the following reappointments: the Bike and Pedestrian Committee, Ann Cactus of Old Post Road, term 11/20 to 11/24, and Linda Locke of Pora Road, term 11/20 to 11/23. Do I have a motion to approve?
So moved.
Seconded.
I know that Ann is on the line. Ann, are you on the line?
Yes, I'm here, if you can hear me.
Yes. Welcome, Ann. And
Thank
Linda is unable to call in because she's at work. I just want to first say thank you very much for stepping up to serve our community in this capacity. The Bike and Pedestrian Committee has been a very active and good resource for my office. A lot of people have called in since the pandemic and have been particularly interested in bike and pedestrian issues, and they've been very good at working with the community and working with us as well. So I appreciate you stepping up to serve our community, and I'll open it up to Nancy or Tom if you have any comments or questions.
Nope, just to echo that sentiment, thank you so much again for throwing your hat into the ring for another term, for your service.
And I'd like to thank you as well, and I appreciate the work of the committee on this initiative, so best of luck to you.
Thank you very much.
So if there are no other comments, and I'll just say this to everyone on the line, I know we have a lot of appointments and reappointments, so I know we have riveting meetings, but if you, after your appointment, if you'd like to, you don't have to stay on. I'll politely tell you that you could sign off if you'd like. So a motion to approve the 2 appointments for the Bike and Pedestrian Committee.
Yes,
So moved.
I'll second it.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. B, Board of Health. Mary Frances DeSteno of Samuel Lane, serving from 11/20 to 11/24. Do I have a motion to approve?
So moved.
Seconded.
Any discussion? Mary Frances is calling in, but I'm not sure she's able to.
No, I'm here.
Oh, okay. Welcome, Mary Frances.
Yeah, I just would like to echo what I said earlier, which is, of course, broadly, thank you for serving the town. Particularly right now, this is a board that I know people are paying attention to in a way that maybe they wouldn't during non-pandemic time. So, thank you for taking this work so seriously, and we really appreciate it. People are looking to all of us leaders, especially in this capacity. So thank you very much.
Thank you.
And I'd like to second that as well. Thank you much for stepping up to serve.
Thanks. It's mostly Sands and Jill. They do all the hard work. So thank you.
and that they do.
Yeah.
Well, we appreciate your service, and we appreciate you stepping up to serve again, and, thank you very much.
All right, thank you.
Okay, if we have no other comments, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Well, motion carries, and, you're back at the Board of Health, Mary Frances.
All right, thank you. Have a good day, everyone.
You too, take care.
Thanks. Bye.
Bye-bye now.
Bye.
Item number 3 is the reappointment of Fire Commission, members, Harry Ackley of 25 Wagon Hill Road, term from 11/20 to 11/25, and Dorothea Brennan, Fairfield Beach Road, from 11/20 to 11/25. And I know that, Karen Ackley and Fire Chief Dennis McCarthy have called in, to speak, or say some words about, Harry Ackley. So I'll open it up. Do I have a motion first to approve,
So moved.
I'll second it.
and I'll open it up,
Brenda, Chief McCarthy, if it's okay to speak now?
absolutely, Chief.
Yes, good afternoon, to the members of the Board of Selectmen. I want to just say a few words, upon the reappointment of Commissioners Brennan and Ackley. They both epitomize volunteerism and community service. Commissioner Ackley, is completing his first 5-year term. The last year he's been serving as chairman, and he has served the department and the community for over 5 decades. Harry has risen through the ranks of the department, culminating his service as training director and as our fire marshal, serving the department for over 36 years. Among the many contributions to the community, he served on the RTM for 5 years. He has served on building committees, ad hoc committees, and public event committees. His tenure as fire commissioner and chairman of the fire commission has been marked by determined and unwavering commitment to the department. Commissioner Brennan is completing 7 years on the commission and is up for another 5-year term. She has served as chairwoman and acting chairwoman, and together with Commissioner Ackley and the other commissioners, have worked to develop and support the fire department's strategic planning process. And in the past year, she's been instrumental in our efforts to improve our electric utility response plan. So on behalf of the fire department and other members of the commission, we certainly appreciate the leadership of both Commissioners Brennan and Ackley, and certainly look forward to the continuing service to the department and to the community. Thank you.
Thank you, Chief.
Brenda, if I might, I'd like to take a moment and say that I know both of these individuals, and they are fine stewards for the town, exemplary individuals, and have seemingly forever contributed their time and their talents to the management of the town. And I take great pride in supporting both of these.
Thank you.
Nancy, do you have any comments?
Just a big thank you very much, and appreciate the long history of service. That is not for the faint of heart, so I appreciate it, knowing what goes into it. Thank you.
Is anyone else like to offer any comments at this time?
Brenda, this is Dorothea. I'd just like to say thank you for the opportunity.
Well, thank you, Dorothea. We appreciate your service to our community.
And this is Karen Ackley. Harry's listening.
Oh,
And
good.
Thank you for reappointing him. Do you want to say thank you? Can you say thank you, honey? Well, he's listening. So thank you for doing that.
Thank you.
Thank you, Karen. If there's no more discussion, all in favor?
Aye.
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 Motion carries, passes unanimously. Thank you, Dorothea and Karen tells Harry we have him in our thoughts, and we love him, and we're thinking of him.
Thank you so much, I will.
Thank you.
God
Have a
bless
good day.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye, Karen. Item number D, Flood and Erosion Control Board, Rebecca B. Bennell, Fairfield Beach Road, term from 11/20 to 11/25. Do I have a motion to approve?
So moved.
Seconded.
Any discussion? I know Becky is, on the line.
I'd just like to say thank you for your service, and obviously, with all the changes in weather pattern and what have you, flood and erosion control has become much more important for the town. So it is also a board that's not for the faint of heart, and I appreciate you stepping up to serve.
Thank you. I look forward to serving for another 4 years.
I just love an active family, so it's with gratitude that I thank you for your service, and it's been a great honor to work in the few short weeks with Douglas. So it's Doug. So, thank you.
Thank you.
And I want to thank you too, Becky, for stepping up to serve again. I know it's a lot of extra work, and especially during these times, everyone is overstressed and has a lot on their plates. We do appreciate your service.
Thank you. It's an honor to be able to serve the town this way.
Thank you very much. If there's no further discussion, all in favor?
Aye.
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 Motion carries. Thank you very much, Becky. Item number E, Human Services Commission. Reappointments. Carolyn Durkee, Pratt Street, 1120 to 1124. Loretta J., Rolling Ridge Road, 1120 to 1124. And Barbara Paris of Bennell Circle, 1120 to 1124. Do I have a motion to approve?
So moved.
I'll second it.
Discussion? Comments?
I'd just like to thank everybody for their service, and again, there's some longtime public servants on this, and I would like to thank them for their continued service to the town.
Yes, agree. And I know Loretta J. of the three women personally, so I want to, I know I speak for all three of them on behalf of, not that I'm speaking on behalf, but with gratitude to the three of them, but can say that I know Loretta to be a great, upstanding person, and just happy that all three of you stepped up.
This is Loretta. Thank you very much to all of you and for the opportunity.
Yes, and this is Carolyn. Thank you also.
This is Barbara, and thank you as well. It's a privilege to serve, and look forward. I recently got on filling in someone else's term, so now I look forward to a full term.
Great.
Well, thank you, Barbara. And I want to say I've worked with Loretta for years on mental health issues in the state of Connecticut with NAMI, and she's always been a champion on many fronts. And Carolyn has served our community in so many ways for so many years, and I always are very respectful of your service to our community. And
Thank
Barbara,
you.
I look forward to working with you this coming term.
Same.
Good. I am too.
Thank you.
Well, thank you, ladies, very much for your service to our community.
Thanks very much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
If there's no other comments, all in favor?
Aye.
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 The motion passes unanimously, and thank you, ladies, again. Item F, Land Acquisition Commission. Nicholas Mirably of Sycamore Lane, 1120 to 1124. Do I have a motion to approve?
So moved.
I will second it.
discussion?
I will just, comment that I've known Nick for many years now. He's been a dedicated, volunteer and official for the town, and I know he'll continue to do great work, and I am proud to support him for the position.
Well, thank you, Tom. I too served with Nick, many years ago, many moons ago, Nick. And, we did a lot of good work back then, and I'm looking forward to your service, to our town once again.
A glutton for punishment, if it were.
There you go.
Yes, like many of these appointees, yeah, I've been serving a long time and happy to do it, and looking forward to the opportunity of working with Mike Whitmer and the team. You know, I've been on alternate just the past couple months, so to be reappointed is great, and I can really dig in as we roll into 2021.
That's awesome. Thank you, Nick.
Thank you.
If there's no further discussion, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries unanimously. Thanks again, Nick.
Great, thank you.
All right. Item G, Park and Rec Commission. Christopher McCoy of Barlow Plain Drive, term 11/20 to 11/25. Do I have a motion to approve?
So moved.
Second it.
Any discussion?
Just another, thank you for your continued service to the town. I appreciate it, and I know that a lot has come and will continue to come before this board over the next several years. So appreciate you stepping up.
Thank you very much. Am I audible?
Yes,
Yes.
Chris, we can hear you.
Great. Much appreciated. Thank you very much for all three of you, and I'm looking forward to serving the town, the taxpayers, and continuing to do the good work of the people. Thank you very much. It's great. Appreciate it.
Well, thank you, Chris. I served on the Park and Rec Commission as a Board of Ed liaison back when I was on the Board of Ed, and I thought it was a very worthwhile experience. You learn a lot about our community, and you get to interact so much with our town. So I really, and sometimes it's a little controversial too.
Yes, to say the least.
Most people wouldn't think Park and Rec Commission is controversial, but on occasion, it can be.
Indeed.
So I appreciate you stepping up to serve our community, and thank you again.
Well, thank you for having me. It's great, and I look forward to future endeavors.
Awesome. Well, if there's no further discussion, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries unanimously. Thank you, Chris.
Thank you.
Next item, H, Police Commission. Reappointment of Joseph Caffarelli of College Place, term 11/20 to 11/25. John Stone, referred to as Jack, of Carroll Road, term 11/20 to 11/25. Do I have a motion to approve?
So moved. Nance?
Nancy?
Sorry, yep, approved. Yep, second it. Sorry.
Okay. Is there any discussion or comments?
Well, I've had the pleasure to know both these gentlemen for a fair amount of time, and I look forward to supporting them and thank them for their continued work on the town. And in fact, my first foray into Republican politics or Fairfield politics was with Mr. Stone many years ago. So I'm glad to see him continuing to serve the community as he's done for so long. So thank you both, and thank you, Jack, for your continued work.
Both gentlemen are on the line. Nancy, do you have any comments?
Thank you very much for serving.
Well, I want to thank you for your commitment to our community, especially our law enforcement, who has done amazing work for our town, and I appreciate your effort and dedication, not just to our police department, but to our community as a whole. So thank you very much for both stepping up to serve our community once again in this important role.
Thank you.
Brenda,
Yes.
this is Jack, and if I just might add my thanks and thanks to for the nice comments that were made, because I am very honored to be part of the Police Commission, which is, in my estimation, one of the most important commissions these days, ensuring the public safety in these somewhat uncertain times. And we have a fantastic police department, and they are very flexible, they're very knowledgeable, and they're willing to learn and train and improve themselves at all times.
Well, thank you.
Just one other thing, Brenda, this is Joe.
Yeah, sure.
I wanted to tell you that in recruiting candidates to Fairfield, we have more people who want to come here because of the town and the people and the support of the first selectman and second selectman, third selectman, than you can imagine. So we look forward to having a lot of good people in the future. Thanks again.
Well, thank you. Thank you for sharing that.
Okay.
All right. Well, thank you both. And if there's no further discussion, all in favor?
Aye.
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 Motion carries unanimously. Thank you, gentlemen, for your service, and thank you for calling in today.
Thank you.
Okay, you're welcome. Stay safe.
Take care, you too. Item I, Shellfish Commission. John Short, Jr. of Round Hill Road, term 11/20 to 11/25. Do I have a motion to approve?
So moved.
I'll second it.
Any discussion? John is on the call.
Thank you
Thanks,
for
John.
serving, Mr. Short.
Thank you very much.
John, do you have any comments? Would you like to say anything to the board?
Thank you for having me, and I look forward to making Fairfield a great place to live over the next 5 years. Thanks.
Well, thank you, and thank you for your service to our community. It's much appreciated. If there's no further discussion, all in favor?
Aye.
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 Motion approved unanimously, and thank you again, Mr. Short.
Thanks.
Item J, solid waste and recycling, which requires RTM approval. Andrew C. Becker of Buena Vista Road, 11/20 to 11/24, and Hugh Dolan of Congress Street, term 11/20 to 11/24. Do I have a motion to approve?
So moved.
Second? Nance?
I think my phone there must be something, but yes, second, for sure.
Okay, thank you. Is there any discussion? I believe both gentlemen are on the line.
Gentlemen, thanks for being part of this commission. I know solid waste recycling has become more challenging for the town and for the United States as a whole with changes with China and the like. And we appreciate you stepping up and helping manage that function for the town.
Yes, what he said, exactly. Thank you.
Yes, I echo those comments. It's become a much more challenging board to serve on, and there's a lot of variables and a lot of information and things to understand, and we need to work through for our town. So it's not just our town; every town in the state is facing the same sort of issues. So, thank you both for stepping up to serve again. And if you would like to provide any comments, please feel free to do so.
Brenda, this is Hugh. Can you hear me?
Yes, Hugh, we can.
I want to thank you, Selectmen, for our appointment. I also want to say that it's a pleasure serving with such dedicated, informed, and committed commissioners that you currently have with solid waste. It's a pleasure to serve with them. Thank you for the opportunity.
Thank you, Hugh.
Hi, it's Andrew Becker. Just wanted to say thank you and look forward to the next 4 years.
Well, thank you both. I really appreciate it. I know it's a lot of work, and like I said earlier, it's a lot of work to have the additional time to volunteer. People are busy, and it's a stressful time for everybody. So it's particularly appreciated that you've offered to step up and help us out again. The town does appreciate it. So we have no further discussion. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries unanimously. Thank you, gentlemen. The next item is K, tree warden, to be reappointed Jeff Minder from a term 11/20 to 11/21. Per the charter, unfortunately, Mr. Minder is unable to call in because of all the wind we're having today. He has been running around dealing with trees down and some limb issues. So I would speak on Jeff's behalf. I am extraordinarily impressed with him all the time. There's so many issues where he's involved in our community on so many different issues, and most especially I saw him shine brightest during the storm we had where he was out and working directly, commanding the teams and working with UI, trying to make sure we were getting through the extraordinary amount of damage we had during that storm. And I'm just really impressed with his knowledge and his work ethic. We're very lucky to have him. And so I would ask for a motion to approve.
So moved.
I will second that with a big second. He's been to my property to help me with some trees that were potentially dangerous and save some trees that we could. He's very knowledgeable. He's thoughtful and really concerned about the health and the well-being of the trees, and he's great. Can't say enough good things about him. We're lucky to have him.
Yes, we definitely are. So if there's no further discussion, all in favor?
Aye.
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 Motion carries unanimously. Item L, I'm sorry. Water Pollution Control Authority, appointment, Joe Davanzo of Jennings Road, term 11/20 to 11/24. Do I have a motion to approve?
I will
So
move
moved.
this.
Oh, sorry.
wow.
Seconded.
Yeah, only because this speaks so close to my heart as a member of that committee.
Yes.
If I may, Joe is really the epitome of someone who is serving this town with dedication and tenacity and thoughtfulness and respect, and really just wants to do what is in the best interest of the town, and is really knowledgeable on all the issues related to water pollution control. And I wish the public at large understand how important this committee is to the welfare of the town. And every time we flush the toilet, we should thank Joe and the rest of the committee. So I'm grateful that he is willing to throw his hat into the ring still.
I don't know if I can top that, but it's been a pleasure to know Joe and his wife for so many years now, and their dedication and commitment to the town. And having dealt with Joe when I was on the Board of Finance and he was on WPCA, he's very passionate about this, very knowledgeable, and I know they look to do what's in the best interest of the town. So I'm very appreciative of his willingness to continue to serve, and I wholeheartedly support his reappointment. Hello?
Yes, if there's no further, Joe?
Yes.
Joe, do you want to say anything?
I'd just like to thank the board for the opportunity to serve the town. It's my pleasure. I don't think I could beat Nancy's comments. Nancy, thank you very much. I would like to take it out of everybody's mind not to think of me when they're flushing their toilets, though.
Oh, God, Joe, that is...
I say that in the best way with the greatest respect.
I know. Thank you, Nancy.
A fully functioning society is a society whose toilets flush well.
No truer words were spoken. Well, Joe, I appreciate your service to our community, honestly. All kidding aside, I know it's a challenging board and we have a lot of things coming up, and we do appreciate you stepping up to serve our town.
Thank you.
Thank you. If there's no further discussion, all in favor?
Aye.
Motion carries unanimously. Thank you again, Joe.
I do want to say, for the record, humor aside, with all seriousness, again, echoing, Brenda, what you just said, this is a very serious board, and he does significant work, and I want that, above all else, to be the thing that people think of. So I was just adding humor for the fun, but, of course, the hard work that Joe does is paramount to all.
We could all use a little humor these days, Nancy, so it's much appreciated. All right. Okay, we're into appointments now. Item number 5. To hear and consider and act upon the following appointments. Board of Assessment Appeals, which requires RTM approval to recommend the representative town meeting appoint the following people to the Board of Assessment Appeals in accordance with 8-1 of the town code. All 4, I believe, are calling in, and the members are Ronak Patel of Bronson Road, John Spoiler of Brook Ridge Avenue, and Judith Sablik of Villa Avenue. I think that's all we have.
Catherine Giff.
Catherine Giff.
That's right. It's not on here. I'm sorry. I thought so.
Catherine Van Slick Giff.
Yes. Thank you, Catherine. Do I have a motion to approve?
So moved.
I'll second it.
Is there any discussion?
Say it again. Well, I would like to thank each of these individuals for their willingness to serve with the reassessment process going on. This is a very important board for the town. Obviously, fairness in treating our citizens and taxpayers well and making the right decisions for the town is of paramount importance. So I want to thank you for stepping up for this board.
And also, just to reiterate, and I thank you all 4 very much for serving in this capacity, that the term, just for those, not the board, not the 4 candidates here, but it's just for the duration of the hearing and decision session process during 2021. So it's a special term.
And I would just also say that I appreciate all 4 of you stepping up. I know these can be contentious hearings and emotional and serious, and it's probably not one of the more enjoyable duties of our community, but it's important in fairness for our residents to have this opportunity, and so I really do very much appreciate the 4 of you stepping up to serve in this important role for our town and our residents who want to file these appeals, and that they have the opportunity because you have chosen to step up. So thank you again for that.
Hi, everybody. It's Judy Zablack. I just want to say thank you for this appointment. I am so looking forward to being of assistance and taking care of anybody, and I understand how it can be contentious. I'll be right there, and I do appreciate everybody's vote and confidence. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
This is Catherine, and this is my first appointment that I'm looking forward to, pending RTM's approval, and I'm very hopeful to be part of this very impressive volunteer base of what everybody does in the town of Fairfield. So looking forward to the opportunity where I can contribute and serve as well, and thank you for your confidence.
Thank you, Catherine.
And this is Ronique Patel. Thank you. This is my first appointment as well, and newish to the town. So I really appreciate the opportunity and looking forward to serve.
Thank you, Ronique.
And this is John Spolier, and just want to say thank you for the consideration and looking forward to serving.
Thank you, John.
Yeah, thank you for stepping up in this way, particularly with this, with this board. It's really important, so thank you.
If there's no further comments, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries unanimously. Thank you again, all of you, very, very much.
Good luck.
Item number B, District Commission requires RTM approval, and the term begins 11/23/20. Dr. Daryl Raymond Locke, of Stilson Road. This term is 11/20 to 11/25, moving from alternate member to full member. Do I have a motion to approve?
So moved.
And I'll second it.
Discussion?
I would just say that looking at this resume, it's a fantastic resume to serve on the town's Historic District Commission. The commission does a lot of good work, and having been a student of the history of Fairfield, I can't tell you how much it means to me that we continue to preserve that history for generations to come, and that we do it in a reasonable way, working with the property owners to make sure that we keep these properties historically accurate, but viable in the 21st century. So I really appreciate the people that serve on this commission. It's important work, and I thank you for your service.
Yeah, thank you, Tom. Exactly what you said. I appreciate Dr. Ryman Locke stepping in, and I really appreciate what you just said, Tom. Thank you.
This is Darren Raymond Locke. I just wanted to thank you for the opportunity, and I look very much forward to serving in this capacity.
Thank you, Doctor. We really do appreciate you stepping up to serve our community. If there's no further discussion, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Aye. Motion carries unanimously. Thank you again, Doctor.
Thank you.
Item number C, Water Pollution Control Authority. Term begins 11/23/20. Matthew Manchisi of Aran Hill Road. The term is 11/19 to 11/23 to fill a vacancy left open. I believe Matthew is on the line. Do I have a motion to approve?
So moved.
And I'll second it. And,
Matthew, would you? Okay, I'm sorry.
I was just going to say that we had a chance to speak, me and Matthew, and he's really knowledgeable on these issues. Like Dr. Raymond Locke, has a very specific, subject matter expertise in this area for water pollution control. And we're lucky that you've moved back into town, and I believe you were here and then left and came back. I hope I have that right. Welcome back.
Yep,
and,
that's correct. Thank you.
And thank you for coming back and investing your time and energy in the community in this way. We're a lively bunch, so we look forward to having you on water pollution control.
Yeah, I appreciate the opportunity, and it was great talking with both you, Nancy, and Joe prior to my consideration. But yeah, I'm very excited to join the two of you and the rest of the board, and hopefully when people flush their toilets, they'll think of me instead of Joe.
And the newbie.
Oh, Nancy, you're not going to live this down.
Yeah, I would also like to thank you for serving and looking at your resume, as Nancy indicated, it is an appropriate skill set for this board, and thank you. And just as Nancy well knows, and Brenda too, we've got a lot of big decisions to make relative to WPCA in the next number of years. There's a huge project that's staring us in the face over the next 5 to 10 years, maybe even sooner, relative to the treatment plant. And we really need some expert hands and some subject matter expertise to help guide us to make the right decisions, because it's quite frankly, it's going to be one of the largest capital projects in the town over the next decade, and we have to get it right, and it has to last for a long period of time. So I thank you for your commitment to serve.
if there's no other comments, motion to approve. All in favor, sorry.
Aye.
Aye. Passes unanimously. Thank you again, Matthew.
Thank you. I'm excited to work with you guys.
We appreciate your service. Thank you so much. Item number 6. These are for Selectwoman reappointments for information only. The Conservation Commission, appointing Beth Jones, Elizabeth Jones of Shetland Road, term 11/20 to 11/25. Beth, are you on the line?
I am.
Hi, Beth. How are you?
I'm well. How are you? Hi, everyone.
I'm doing all right. Well, thank you for calling in, and thank you for stepping up to serve in this role. I really do appreciate it.
Oh,
again,
and, I appreciate the opportunity to continue to serve. Thank you.
Thank you. I know this is an important commission, and I know that you guys do a lot of work for our town, and so I know it's not easy work, and I appreciate you stepping up to do it for our community.
Well, it's my pleasure. Thank you.
Thank you. Nancy or Tom, would you have any comments?
Thank you so much for serving.
All right, so this does not for a vote. I'll move on. Thank you again for calling in, Beth. Have a good evening.
Oh, you as well. Thanks again. Bye-bye.
Take care. Item number 7, this is again for Selectwoman appointments for information only, but they do require RTM approval. And so item A is Employees Retirement Board. I am appointing Kevin Sedin, who is on the line, of Sherwood Farm Road, from term 11/20 to 11/25. And the second appointment that is just mine and that will go on to the RTM is Parking Authority, David Bothwell, who is, I believe, on the line, both gentlemen, of Shoreham Village Drive. His term would be 11/20 to 11/25, and he would be filling an opening that was left by Edward Human, who isn't seeking another term. So both men are on the line. If anybody would, if either gentleman would like to speak, or if either one of you would like to ask any questions or say anything, please feel free to do so.
I would just like to take the opportunity to thank both gentlemen for serving. It's interesting times. I know on the Parking Authority there was some talk quite some time ago about modernizing some of the practices of the Parking Authority relative to payments and day parking and all that. And I know it's a sometimes overlooked process and service that the town renders. So I thank you for serving and look forward to your contributions to that organization.
Thank you. This is David. Can you hear me?
Yes, David.
Okay. Thank you. I appreciate it. My family and I, we love living in Fairfield, and I'd like to do anything to serve the town, so I appreciate it. Thank you.
Hey, Brenda, it's Kevin.
Oh, go ahead.
I just want to say I'm humbled and honored by the opportunity to serve the town and looking forward to it in any capacity that you deem appropriate. I cut off there for a second because another call came in, so I apologize.
No, that's okay, and I do appreciate stepping up. There's a lot of work on the Employee Retirement Board, and I appreciate I believe your knowledge and your experience will be well utilized and much appreciated by the other members of the board. So thank you so much for agreeing to step up and serve our community in this important role.
Well, thank you. I appreciate that.
And I'd like to just say thank you to both gentlemen, and to thank publicly Edward Human for his service. And I believe the Employee Retirement Board, that's a replacement for Brian Vahey, who served 2 terms. Is that correct, Brenda?
Yes.
So I would also then publicly like to say both again to Edward Human and to Brian Vahey, Thank you for the many years of service, and I know Brian personally, the many years of service that he's dedicated, time, energy, effort into the work that he's done. I know it's significant, so I just wanted to say thank you very much publicly.
Nance, thanks for that. I echo your comments. I've gotten to work with both gentlemen, and I appreciate that and their service as well. So thank you for bringing that up. Thank you for your service, and best of luck to the new appointments once approved.
Thank you both for weighing in and welcoming our two residents, and I look forward to your appointments and approvals at the RTM level. And thank you both for calling in. I do appreciate it.
Great, thanks again.
Okay, thank you. Item number 8, Golf Commission. Park and Recreation Director Anthony Calabrese, Golf Commission Chair Keith Varian, and Purchasing Director Gerald Foley are going to present this item. The Town Attorney Jim Baldwin's on the line, and Mr. Bigonette will call in for this item as well. This is to hear and consider and authorize the purchasing authority to enter into the proposed 3-year contract with Robert Bigonette, I don't know if I'm saying this right, Bigonette, to provide all labor, materials, equipment, and all else necessary regarding golf professional services for H. Smith Richardson Golf Course on Morehouse Highway, Fairfield, Connecticut, and the Carl Dickman Par 3 Golf Course on Old Dam Road, as detailed in RFP number 2021-01, for the proposed fees detailed in Mr. Binet's proposal. Do I have a motion to approve?
So moved.
And I'll second it.
Is there, gentlemen, Anthony, Keith, would you like to present?
This is Anthony. Keith, if you're on, if you want to just give an overview of, I guess, the process, that might help.
Sure, no problem. Happy to. So the Golf Commission took what I think was a pretty long and comprehensive process in interviewing these candidates. When we found out we had 3 bidders, we set up an interview process plus meetings for the Golf Commission, and we started by calling all the local pros, the local golf courses, to get some feedback on the 3 bidders. Gerald called the references. We spoke comprehensively to golfers, to people in the community. We received over 200 letters spread out among the 3 candidates. We interviewed the candidates, and during that process, Bob really rose to the top of the conversation. It was really clear that there was a lot of support for Bob, and we felt very strongly about what he could bring to the courses, particularly his energy, his passion, his history of programs. You know, he's a Fairfield guy, and we just were really, really excited to get him on board. Any more detail, I'm happy to go into it.
Can I don't want to cut in. Madam First Selectwoman, may I ask a couple questions?
Absolutely.
Thank you. The first thing, the RFP process, was this our standard RFP process, and this went through all the requirements that we put all our bidders through? Is that a correct statement?
Tom, this is Gerald Foley. Yeah, so the purchasing department worked with the Park and Rec and with the Fairfield Golf Commission to draft this RFP. Just so everyone's aware, the last time that an RFP was actually provided for these services was 15 years ago. So the issue came up to me. Anthony Calabrese had mentioned to me that this service basically has been continued year after year after year. So when it came up to my attention that, you know, it was at the end of this year that it was going to be expiring, I'd mentioned to Anthony that it was my recommendation that the town, on behalf of the Fairfield Golf Commission and the Park and Rec Department, issue an RFP. So my office worked with the Parks and Rec, the Recreation Parks, and Fairfield Golf Commission. We drafted an RFP with their help. We formally issued the RFP back in September, and we got submissions in on 2 p.m. Thursday, the 8th of October.
Okay, and we have the required bonds and insurance. That's all been or is being checked, will be checked before this is finalized.
So, yeah, in that regard, I can't speak to the previous RFP because, again, I wasn't here 15 years ago when this was done. But in the new RFP, what we've done is we've basically brought up the standards on the respondent, that he's going to have to meet all the requirements of the town's insurance. And in addition to that, we're also asking for a fidelity bond for the successful respondent, in this case, Mr. Bignett. So to answer your question, yes.
And the contract that's proposed has gone through legal review, Mr. Baldwin?
That's correct. This is Jim Baldwin. That's correct.
Is there any issue, anything that was flagged during legal review, or everything is fine?
We made some modifications to the old agreement, and we're wrapping up the details on terms, but nothing materially that would change the essence of the contract.
What type of detailed terms, just if you could give us a broad thing before, since we're voting on this, what type of terms are still kind of outstanding, if you don't mind?
Well, those are under negotiation, so I think respectfully it's best that I not discuss it specifically, but it's nothing material to the contract other than
well, what types of things, if you don't mind?
Well, okay, the term of the contract would be an example. And we're working out the details of the actual amount for the fidelity bond.
And when will those details, when will all that stuff be available? When will that be completed?
Probably by the end of this week.
Okay, is there any reason to vote on this now without those items being, is there a rush to get this done? Does this have to go somewhere else, or what's the?
I can't speak for the golf commission or Anthony on that, but my understanding is that the sooner this gets put in place, the better prepared that the winner of the award will be ready to go with both feet, feet on the ground and get running in early next year.
Yeah.
I don't think that any of the if there were any material changes to the terms, dollar amounts and that sort of thing, I think that it would be appropriate to hold off.
I'm not used to signing a contract where I don't know that. You said one of the outstanding items is the term. That's the one thing that I'm sitting here saying, well, how do I vote on it without knowing the term?
Well, it's a matter of possibly delaying it by a few months, as opposed.
So we're not talking from going from 3 years to 6 years or 8 years.
That's
we're
correct.
Talking...
And, right. And under our purchasing guidelines and contract requirements, it couldn't go that long. So we're staying within those bounds completely.
Okay, and the bond, is it a matter of the dollar amount of the bond that we're talking about?
Yes.
And it's not a material dollar amount, you're just negotiating details?
We're arriving at what the town believes would be an adequate figure for a fidelity bond.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
And
next question. I appreciate that. Thank you. Mr. Foley, when I look at the comparisons of the dollar amounts, there's a drastic difference with at least one of them that is our fee is significantly lower on an annual basis. Can you explain, it obviously looks like they're could have been an error in the submission or what have you, or in the understanding. What was the follow-up on that with the...
Yeah, so, to answer that question, so, the gentleman you're referring to, he had this fee that was substantially lower. He ended up being, depending on all the scoring, he was the third person. So he had three participants, and he was for all intents and purposes, he scored the lowest in terms of his, basically all the scoring methodology. So I did have a conversation with him, and yes, in all honesty, I think he misunderstood what the fee was supposed to cover. His interpretation was that was his fee. What he didn't realize that he was responsible for some additional staffing that comes under his umbrella. So I believe that's why his fee was as low as it was.
Okay. And was this a unanimous choice of the Golf Commission?
Yes, that's correct.
Can I?
Yes, please, go right ahead.
Yeah, well, then would you then, listen, I've heard wonderful things about the candidate. I'm just curious about a fair process. Wouldn't you then go back to him and explain what needs to be included, or is that sort of part of?
No, that would be outside, because what it was, you have to take the submissions as you receive them. So what ended up happening was he was not the candidate that we would be going forward with. So the candidate you're going forward with, you could do what you just suggested. But what we don't do is get in the midst of going back and forth between, once you've got the submissions forward, you typically don't go back to an applicant, or in this case a submission, and ask for a clarification if he's not one that's being recommended by the committee.
Okay.
So if I could just jump in, I think typically, and I just want to give some historical perspective here. It was brought to my attention that this position should have been going out for an RFP and never was, and so it was brought to my attention that in an effort of transparency and good government, that's exactly what the town did, was put this out for an RFP process. As far as the RFP process is concerned, Nancy, it's like with anything else, it's outlined specifically. If someone misunderstands it, it's not the town's responsibility to make amends for someone's inability to understand what the. So, just to be clear, for everyone's edification, our town attorney and our purchasing director follow all transparency and RFP protocols that have been put in place, and are going forward on every item. So just to be clear, that is always happening with everything. And all contracts are reviewed by the town attorney, every single contract, every single time. So I just want to make those points in an effort to make sure we are all aware of that going forward. And I don't know if that's it. I think that might be it. And I believe Anthony did call both of you to explain the commission's vote and gave some information to both of you, I think, just so you would be aware of this before coming up, so you had that information.
I think it's important to note that certainly with my questioning, and I'm not speaking on behalf of Mr. Flynn, although I think probably he feels similarly, that it's important because this is a public, we all know the history of the town, and so for better or for worse, I think it's important that we ask these questions. And while we always assume this is the case, Brenda, I think it's important that we have an opportunity to ask the questions, just so, even if for no other reason, we hear the town attorney says yes. I think that's an important question and answer exchange. I did have a question, or not, more of a comment. The one thing that just struck me on the contract, and again, I've heard wonderful things about this candidate. I did reach out to not only members of the Golf Commission, but the building committee and several golfers. And while I'm very, thankful and grateful, as for the people I spoke to, for the former employee who served in this role, and thank him for his service, I think that we have a great opportunity here. I'm excited about some of the youth programming opportunities. The one area where I just had more of a comment or a question, in the contract where it says the off-season duties, it's pretty vague, and I just think that there's an opportunity there to flesh out some of what could be done to help flesh out those youth programming opportunities or flesh out some of the year-round opportunities for the course. And while maybe it doesn't have to be specifically stated, I do think there's an opportunity there to talk about some of those options. So just something that struck me. And one other thing, I just wanted to ask the question, is this, while the middle of the pack in terms of the financials, is this commensurate with what other people in the similar position at maybe similar courses would be making? I have no basis for judgment or understanding.
I can answer that. This is Anthony. As far as the compensation goes, yes, this is right on par with where it technically should be based on other municipal courses. As far as the programming goes, it was left vague on purpose, basically to give the pro the opportunity to work the off season, those winter months where there may be opportunities to provide cross-country skiing rentals or ice skating rentals or things outside of the box. We always want to give the contractor that is on site the ability to do those first, to have first crack at those. But by no means does that mean we wouldn't do them as from the recreation side. If the golf pro was ever to say, you know what, nope, golf is my thing, I don't know anything about cross-country skiing or ice skating or any other thing that I want to do, golf is what I'm doing, then the rec department would have the opportunity to do that. But we want to give the pro that opportunity first.
Okay.
And if I can jump in on that, this is Keith Baring. We talked a lot about that both internally and then also with the candidates, because it's an important question, and we haven't had that historically. And one of the things that really did attract us to Mr. Bigonette was his very sort of structured and organized plan for the courses and the facilities. And he had a lot of ideas and a lot of things that he wants to talk about going forward. And I know he's on. I don't want to put words in his mouth, but with thoughts and ideas for ways to do things in the off season, from club fittings to a whole lot of different other ideas. And so that was something else that attracted us to him, was his creativity for ways to maximize the facilities outside of the golf season.
And thank you both, Anthony and Keith, for clarifying. From Mr. Bigonette, I would be, first of all, I'm again happy to support this. Curious what you think about balancing. I know I've heard from lots of people that you love the hands-on lesson piece. Is this going to be a big change for you?
Hello, this is Bob. First, I'd like to thank you for even considering me. No, I don't think it's going to be a big change for me. Golf is a complete passion of mine, and I love all things about golf. So I feel it to be a complete year-round activity, and I'm looking forward to having golfers around there in the snow and in the sunshine.
Love it. Great.
Mr. Bigonetti, what did you think of our talk a little bit about the youth program, because like Nancy, that's what I was very impressed with the potential for the youth program, which quite frankly I think has been lacking at the facility for quite some time, having had a couple of young golfers in my house years ago. So if you could just step through that just a little bit, I'd appreciate it.
Absolutely. I believe youth golfers are the most important sector in all of golf, because to me they're job security. And every kid I meet, I look at them and I want to make them into a lifetime golfer. And I can't think of a better place than Fairfield to do it in. This community has an unbelievable appetite for youth activities. Having been a father who's raised 3 kids in this town, I have a feeling for parents' appetite, and golf has been completely underserved. With the combination of having a par 3 course that is made for junior golfers and for beginner golfers, and a great driving range, and hopefully some improvements to the facility in the future, I just think the sky is the limit for youth programming.
Great. Well, in looking at your bid, that is the thing that stood out to me. So I was not surprised that the Golf Commission was fully supportive on that, and I thank you, and I wish you well in this endeavor. I would also like to thank the outgoing pro who has served the community for many years, and I know does have a loyal following amongst golfers within the town, certain sets of golfers, and thank him for what he's done for the town and what his organization has done for the town as well.
Absolutely.
Agree. I have no further questions or comments, but echo that thanks.
Thank you. Obviously, we all got the emails. There's some emotion involved here, and I too want to thank Mr. Alexander for his service to our community as well. The Golf Commission is far more knowledgeable on this issue than I am. I hope to learn to play golf someday, but they have been they're very involved with everything regarding our golf courses and all of this, and I know some members of our community were upset about the decision-making process, but from what I know and what I've read and can see, all the rules were followed, and everyone did everything the way they were supposed to do it. And obviously, in any situation like this, some people are not going to be happy with the way it turned out. But I believe that it was done appropriately and above board. So with that,
Well, Madam First Selectwoman, just for a second, just for clarification, I did not get a lot of emails on this topic, just so that you're aware. So maybe they just went to the First Selectwoman's office, or, but I didn't get them in my town account, just so that I don't want anybody to think that I ignored something that came over. So just as a point of clarification.
I spoke to people on the phone. I didn't get any emails.
Yeah.
okay, thank you. Okay, if there's no further discussion, we are voting to accept the vote and recommendation by the Golf Commission regarding the RFP. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries unanimously. Thank you. Mr., is it Binet?
It's Biganet. It's the
Biganet,
easiest way to
I'm
remember
sorry.
is how you catch a bigger fish.
Oh, there you go. Mr. Biganet. Okay. I do fish, so I'll remember that.
It, guys. I appreciate it very much. I'll do great for you. Thank you very much.
Well, thank you.
Congratulations, Bob. Thank you, everybody.
Have a good night.
You too.
Okay, we are at the end of our agenda, and I plan on giving an update on COVID and an announcement on the Tree of Hope, but I do want to mention that just while we were on this call, the governor had a press conference, and he announced that he will be making changes this Friday with back to Phase 2 with some modifications. We're going to be looking at this. It appears that he's doing something of a 2.1 model, and our team is going to be looking at this. We were planning on having our state call on Thursday where we get our updated numbers, and we were going to be making some decisions. I had asked the emergency management team to come together on Thursday because we were listed on those state calls because we were in orange and we were in red the week before, and so there are very important calls to our team, and we were going to make some decisions based on that call, but it looks like the governor is doing it for everyone. One of the things that is a little concerning to me that I just got printed out, Jackie printed out for me, is that he's looks to be pushing restaurants to close at 9:30 p.m. So there's some issues. Obviously, this just happened, so we're going to have to review some of this and see how it's going to impact our community as a whole.
Are there any changes, Brenda, to number of people in restaurants and the like?
There is some changes, yes, and we will be able to put more of this out. Obviously, this just happened.
Yeah.
And it's supposed to be going into effect Friday, so obviously Jackie and I have our hands full with the emergency management team this week, and we will get that information out to the community through a newsletter. But I did want to say that even before this, you know, we were in the red, like I had said, and on the newsletter on Friday, and then we got moved into the orange. We had improved the prior week, and the state state had moved us from red to orange. However, we have seen an uptick in positive cases throughout the town over the last few days, not just the town, but the state as well. We did not get a lot of reports of parties from university students over the Halloween weekend, which is a good thing. But we do, what our health department has said, and what I did say in my newsletter, is that, you know, our health department is working a ton on, you know, contact tracing, and what they've primarily been seeing is that a lot of our case rates were coming from small gatherings, just people having, you know, 4 or 6 people over to their houses for dinner or whatever, and that's kind of where we were getting our spikes throughout the town. So I do want to remind our residents that the symptoms of COVID-19 include a wide range of symptoms ranging from mild to severe, and to please assure to get tested if you're feeling any of those symptoms, and they're listed on the CDC website or on our www.fairfieldct.org/COVID-19 data page. There is also a chart showing reported symptoms from Fairfield residents who tested positive there, and symptoms may appear 2 to 14 days after exposure. There are a number of positive cases in Fairfield that could have been avoided if residents just followed the guidelines that are posted there. If you have symptoms, get a test, stay home. If you have a family member testing positive, get a test, stay home. If you're waiting for results for a test, stay home. You would be shocked to know that how many just adults in our town who get tested and are still moving around the town. And obviously, when the health department does these contact tracing, they reiterate these important parts. So,
Brenna, thank you, and I don't mean to interrupt. First of all, thanks for the update. Thank you for representing the town on this.
Little bit more to
Oh, I'm so sorry. I wanted to ask a question, but go ahead.
So I just want to again reiterate to everyone to wear a mask, wash your hands, and keep a distance from those outside your household. And this is extraordinarily important. I want to also say that the planning team came together today, and it's brought up quite a bit throughout that mental health services continue to be in high demand in our community for both our students and adults alike. And in this week's newsletter, I'll be sending out more information with resources for our residents. You know, we have, you know, we're all under a lot of pandemic fatigue, adults and children alike. And so keep that in mind, and we will be sending some additional information, and we will also update on the governor as we get more information. This was obviously just announced, and so he'll have more, and we'll have more, I'm assuming, from the state ourselves, so that I'll be able to share more details with our community. And if you want to, I want to do some other things, but if you want to ask some questions about COVID, feel free to do that now.
Yeah, no, hey, Brent, thanks, and my apologies, I didn't mean to cut you off earlier. The one thing I wanted to say is when you talk to the governor, and I don't know what the state can do about this, but one of the big challenges that I'm finding, and I hear from people all the time, is the amount of time it's taking to get test results back. And the fact that we're asking people that are asymptomatic or what have you, or might have had exposure second or third hand or don't even know, and now their test results are being delayed from 3 to 5 days and sometimes more. And while we do need to do exactly as you said, it is becoming more of a frustration, the fact that they're getting overrun and that these tests are not coming back that quickly. And that's causing a lot more people to be in lockdown. Just so that is a frustration, and it is probably causing concern, and it's probably causing further spread, because people do exactly as you said. They don't go into lockdown. They do walk around after having a test but not getting the results, and then they do, unfortunately, spread it.
Okay, just thank you. And we have been trying to secure a testing site to do something for, we have been for the last week or more. They're all booked. We can't get any.
Exactly, yeah.
And, I mean, obviously, we're all dealing with this. This is life. This is how we are right now. And, you know, I have no control over how fast testing companies turn around test results.
No, I know you don't, and that's why I'm just trying to say, if the governor, that'd be a big, as the state presses on this, I think that'd be, based on my own experience and what I'm seeing, that'd be one big area, is to press on the speed of the results getting back so that people can understand whether they do have it or not, particularly children who can be exposed.
Well, the other issue is if you sign on to get a rapid test today, tomorrow, it's all booked.
Yep.
So it's just, that's just another issue. I went, I had logged on today to try and get rapid tests for no symptomatic reason. I have to see an older adult for medical reasons. And there wasn't a testing site to be found that had an available appointment.
And just to mention, on our town's website, we have the COVID-19 page, and we have a whole list of all available testing sites for our residents.
Yeah,
If
and
people are
it's
looking.
great and it's comprehensive. I just meant, that is going to be a source of frustration for people. Not that we can control that at this time, but and I used that list. I just couldn't get a spot. So, anecdotally sharing.
Thank you. Yeah, it's frustrating all the way around. So much frustration.
There is, and which is a good segue, is now a moment I can ask a question?
About the COVID?
Yeah.
Sure.
Well, it's more of a observation. There is so much, what you alluded to, there's so much anger and frustration, and we keep alluding to that, and of course, and I'm feeling all the feelings, I know we all are, but like a disconnect between the schools and the parents and the teachers and the town, and I just feel like I wish I could make it better. I wish there was some magic wand to make even that piece of it, that people understood that, and in some ways it's a little less confusing now that the state is back to a phase 2. I just want to reiterate, just from my own opinion, I think the superintendent, the schools, the Board of Ed, everyone is really doing the best they can, and that I hope people can remember that the frustrations they feel, everybody else is feeling it, even the people that have been elected to serve, who've gone on, who are volunteering, that I know parents want kids in the classrooms. I want my kids in the classrooms, but then we also have to factor in the teachers are really concerned. And a lot of the teachers are feeling nervous about it, so we do have to take that into account. So there's so many things that have to go into this that, there's an implication that there's like somehow nefarious wrongdoing. And, I just wish I could take that out of everyone's mind, that everybody really is doing the best that they can. And, I just hope that people have a room for a little bit of grace somewhere in there, even with all the frustration and the fear and the confusion, and that people have to talk to each other. And I know, we get upset because on social media people take to it, but it is a good way of communicating. But we have to just try to remember to keep it, pleasant is the wrong word, but, without try to keep it to the facts and try to keep it. But it's not a way to get your questions answered. That I encourage people who are questioning things that, people should go to the source. I know that you're available to talk to people. The superintendent is available. The Board of Ed members are available. I've read a lot of angry complaints against the Board of Ed, and then you ask the particular Board of Ed member, and they haven't been contacted by people. So, or by that individual that's making a claim online. So, I understand the need to vent, but nothing should supersede going to the source. So, again, not really a question, but more a comment, and I don't know if...
No, I think, Nancy, I did speak to the Board of Education chairman today, and I speak to Mike Cummings frequently, and I suggested some members of the Board of Ed meet with our emergency planning team, with the superintendent and myself, just to kind of have dialogue and discussion, which I think is good for everybody. And, absolutely, I know, listen, everyone's stressed out, and, you know, I think some of this stuff that came, to light last week regarding social media and sort of the way some of that goes off the rails, and, I try to encourage people to speak to each other much more, directly than through social media, which I never feel is a good way to have a conversation. It's good to share information, about, you know, COVID or different things that we need to get out, but some of this stuff people just get a little bit too, I don't know, uncivil or disrespectful, on social media, and I don't think it's productive. But anyway, I agree. I think we all need to I think we all need to take a deep breath and remember that we're neighbors and we're members of a community. We're all here in this together, and we need to be respectful of one another, and we can share our opinions in a respectful way without being disrespectful. If there's not anything else, I did want to share the announcement on the Tree of Hope at Sherman Green this year.
Yeah, I did have one other question. I know you sent out a blast today about voting protocols and following the state guidelines in terms of COVID safety, and that's great. And I hope people feel reassured in that way. But I also just wanted to say that I guess I would condemn any intimidation tactics and discourage anyone from participating in that, and that's just not who we are as a town. And I hope any elected official and people serving the town would join me in that call, that there's a lot of tension right now and a lot of anxiety around COVID, but generally where we're at. And I know the election is bringing up a lot of feelings for people, but I just want to encourage people to bring that same level of respect and discourse to the polls and the way that they approach tomorrow as well.
Right. We saw that there was some, there was an action that happened over the weekend that was a member of our community's property was damaged, and there was anti-police sort of things written on some lawn signs at an individual's home, and this kind of stuff should not be tolerated by anybody. And I have never seen any kind of intimidation at polls in my lifetime. I've been involved in the political arena for many years. I've worked outside polls. I've spent out time on polls, and I've never seen people intimidated, or not in our community. And I would imagine, I'm hoping that we won't be seeing any of that. But just to be clear, our law enforcement is prepared to assist in any way, shape, or form should there be any kind of thing like that. But I think we have everything put in place. We had a little malfunction because we had the voting information inside the newsletter, and I don't know what happened. The MailChimp sort of just, Jackie and I, a little snafu with the technology. But anyway, we did send out today all the information that people need to know. There was a tremendous amount of absentee ballots. Our town clerk's office has been working overtime, nights and weekends, trying to process. There's tons of volunteers that have come in intermittently, safely, obviously. But there's a lot. So I know a lot of people have taken advantage of the opportunity to vote ahead of time. So that'll be good, I think, for on Election Day. We have curbside voting. We have in-person voting. Everything is safe and easy, and there's extra poll workers that both registers have worked to secure. So things, if they, they went through this exercise on the primary, and I went and checked out the polls. They worked really well. People were able to vote safely, either way, coming in or curbside. And I'm thinking we're going to have hopefully a seamless election day here in the town of Fairfield.
I hope that too.
Is there any other comments?
No.
So I would just like to announce, the Police Athletic League was chosen, by the Park and Rec Subcommittee to light the tree at Sherman Green for November. The goals of the Police Athletic League are to provide, positive activities for kids in town and provide positive interaction with our police department. Fairfield PAL programs are offered at no charge and are very reasonable. This is possible due to keeping costs low and relying on volunteer coaches and administrators. An annual fundraiser mailing appeal brings in funds required to run the organization. And the generous support of our residents of Fairfield allows PAL to continue offering positive activities to respond to the changing interests of youth in our town. So I hope our residents will stop by Sherman Green this month to see the tree, which will be lit blue, and learn more about the Police Athletic League. And if there aren't any other items that anyone wants to bring up, I would ask for a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
So moved.
I'll second it.
Thank you. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Thanks,
you, guys.
everybody.
Have a good night. Stay safe.
You too. Bye-bye.
Take care.